Jai Baba.
Jai Baba, Jai Baba. Mayor, your mic is on.
Yeah.
You can mute, yeah, please. Thank you. Jai Baba. Nothing is real. Nothing matters but love for God. God is the only reality. All else that seems real is illusory. God and I are one. Meher Baba. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. Thanks to beloved Baba and Jai Baba to all of you. We are reading this wonderful book called Conversations with the Awakener. We are on page number 54 and the chapter is Don't Fear Your Fears. Go ahead.
With a soft, shining smile, you looked at me and asked, "How are you?" Captivated by the intimacy of your look, I dared to counter the question, "How are you?" In a casual, charming way, you replied, "I am fine if you are feeling fine." Overwhelmed by a sympathetic concern, I answered, "I am fine now, but I wasn't until you arrived." Why? Should I say frankly what has been troubling my heart? Why not? Well, in spite of meeting you so often, I am ashamed to find that my problems continue to overwhelm me. A fear of some kind or other persists as my companion, while unconditional concern is yours. And selfishness continues to be my nature, whereas selflessness is yours. Fear constantly overshadows my life, although love invariably radiates from you. I wonder whether I will ever break my association with these two unwanted companions. Are you in a hurry to get rid of them? Yes, it is really disgusting to move under these dark shadows. Whatever takes place in the realm of time needs time to get over.
Okay. Sorry for the break. So beautiful, as I had said earlier, that all these emotions reflect what we all go through. We also have fears of various kinds. And here a couple of sentences which have caught my attention. One is Baba says, "I am fine if you are feeling fine." And we've been doing this over and over again. That Baba has the universal body and the universal mind in which all our individual bodies and minds are included or accommodated. So if we are happy, automatically we are contributing to a very little extent to Baba's happiness because individually we are happy. So he is getting the feedback that he is getting that happiness. Same way, if we are in a bad mood, if we suffer, if we keep on brooding and weeping and wailing and poor me, why me and all that, that hurt which we are undergoing is also becomes a part of his hurt because he has a universal body and a universal mind. So here Baba says, I am fine if you are feeling fine. In other words, the easiest way to please Baba is to be pleased ourselves in whatever situation that we find ourselves. Then as we go on, Balnatuji says that I am ashamed that I've got these problems. They seem to go away, but they resurface over a period of time. They just keep coming and coming, and I really don't know. And what are the areas? He says about one is the fear, and the other is the selfishness. We all go through this fear as well as selfishness. Then Baba is asking a very pertinent question. Are you in a hurry to get rid of them? We all are in a hurry to get rid of whatever we call as negative emotions within us. And then the superb reply that Baba gives is very important. Whatever takes place in the realm of time, needs time to get over. Whatever fear, whatever negativity, whatever you can make of it, it has developed over a long period of time. So many evolutions, so many reincarnations, and it has developed over a long period. So what has developed over a long period will obviously take a period of time to get over. You just can't get over it in a flash. So what Baba says is whatever takes place in the realm of time needs time to get over. So this is what up to here we have done.
So, what do you wish me to do? In the first place, I want to draw your attention to this. There is no need to fear your fears. Instead, you should try to be more and more aware of them in my remembrance. Don't set a goal of being fearless, for whatever you achieve through self effort will someday fall apart. But if you begin to offer your fears to me, they will naturally change into fortitude.
Sorry. So beautiful, Baba says, and many of us may have experienced. Whatever that you do with self effort finally negates itself. You do what we call, fasting, and you are very plump and you become thin, and over a period of time you again bloat up. Or whatever you do, Baba says, that what Baba says, whatever is achieved through self effort will someday fall apart. But what we are supposed to do is to be aware and conscious of the fears and offer it to Baba so that we develop fortitude. Fortitude means strength, emotional strength, mental strength. So, in other words, what Baba says that whatever we may be going through in our day to day life, you approach it and you face it with awareness and with remembrance of my name and offering it all to me. I suppose I'm quite clear about it. Baba is so beautifully saying, don't set a goal for being fearless. Many times we have these resolutions and goals and all that. The simplest thing, number one, is to be aware of what we are going through. Number two, in the process of being aware, we remember Baba all through. And number three, try to offer it to Baba. When we offer it to Baba, it transforms, it changes its texture. I remember an instance, and I have narrated this on this forum. We all know of Don Stevens, Baba's Western Manli, you can say. Baba, he had some weaknesses. We all have weaknesses. Something that he was constantly thinking about. When you're not doing anything, you play with those thoughts, which are supposedly wrong, bad, whatever you call it, negative. And he played around that for umpteen number of years. And once in such a forum, Baba said that offer it to me. And Baba has been very emphatic that even offer your weaknesses to me. It's not just the strength. It's not just the goodness. Even your so-called badness, you offer it to me. Because there's a very beautiful Baba statement which we all know, that seeds germinate in soft soil. I repeat, seeds germinate in soft soil. I sow the seeds of my love, not in your strength, but in your weaknesses. In other words, even though we have shortcomings, weaknesses, attachments, negative feelings, whatever, Baba expects us to offer it to him. So coming back to Don Stevens, all right, in some of the books it is mentioned, I plant my seeds, but that doesn't matter. It means the same thing. Don Stevens said that I wanted to try it, and once he said he genuinely offered it to Baba. Like how when we say when you go to Dhuni, You put a twig or a stick, whatever, sandal, and just offer it to Baba genuinely, honestly, with all sincerity. He did that. And he forgot about his weaknesses. And after some time, he suddenly realized that his pet project of revolving certain thought processes in the mind automatically stopped. And then he said that I tried to revive it consciously with awareness. And he then said that it did not come back. So, in other words, when we offer our shortcomings, weaknesses, attachments to Baba honestly and sincerely, he takes them all over and he manages whatever he wants to do, sir. Because he himself says, that I am like the ocean, I am the ocean. So, no amount of filth that you put in is ever going to pollute the infinite ocean that I am. So we need to learn from here. So here again, Baba is saying that you offer your fears to me. They will naturally change into fortitude. Fortitude, courage, strength, emotional strength, mental strength. Go ahead.
I have not grasped fully what I am hearing from you. However, I am also anxious to hear from you about the way to overcome my selfish nature.
So one was fear. Now he talks about selfishness.
Is it possible to divest oneself totally of selfishness? Simply applying the word selfless does not make an action selfless and does not solve the problem. Then what is the solution? Invite me to join you in your thoughts and actions, howsoever trivial you regard them to be.
Again, the same vein, you can say, same thought. Baba says, invite me in your thoughts and actions. Whatever you do, make my presence in whatever you are doing.
Then I will not only unwind your selfishness, but gradually, unbeknown to you, your selfishness will begin to merge in my infinite self.
Unbeknown to you. That's what happened to Don Stevens. And that's what happens to many of the Baba lovers when we say, oh, I had this particular pet so-called negative habit. And I kept on offering to Baba. And one fine day, unbeknown, somebody drew my attention that previously you were behaving like this, but now you don't. And then we realized, I've already offered it to Baba, and so he has taken it away.
Will you join me in my day-to-day activities just by my calling on you? If the call is from the heart, then I will find some means to participate in your actions and to make a little space within you in which to function. Whenever you cooperate with me, it is a joy for me to awaken in you the spirit of resignation to my will.
See, here again, Baba is emphasizing, if the call is from the heart, there is a beautiful, very beautiful sentence in English. It says, the quality of the answer is dependent upon the quality of the question. If the quality of the question is superfluous, just for the sake of asking, not sincere, not from deep down, then the answer would also be superfluous. But if the call is from within, Baba says, if the call is from within the heart, then I will find some means to participate in your actions and to make a little space within you in which to function. In other words, Baba will make space within our heart in which he will function and awaken us to be resigned to his will. And then Baba goes on to say, whenever you cooperate with me again, the important thing is that we need to cooperate with Baba when we invite him into our life, and whatever work that he is doing within us, we need to cooperate. We cannot expect ourselves to be very arrogant or very, very, what should I say? What was that word we used? Incorrigible, we call it, No, I'm going to be like this. Now you manage how to do it. No, that means Baba expects us to be cooperative when he is working in us and through us. The moment our eye becomes very prominent, he just recedes, he goes back. But the moment we allow him to come and work within us and in us and through us, then he makes things possible. He makes miracles possible. It's like that. Whenever you cooperate with me, it is a joy for me to awaken in you. Baba is awakening in us, to awaken in you the spirit of resignation to my will.
In spite of all this conversation, excuse me, I am still confused as to how to deal with the present frightening condition of my body and mind. Let us look at the situation this way. Are you frightened now? Not in your presence. Then why only link my presence with my visual form? I am formless too. Why can't you try and learn to connect my presence with my name? Not easy, not difficult either. However, it is true that it is not a tutored art. In spite of making the utmost effort, you still won't achieve it. So it is more than something difficult, but also more than easy, and your eyes sparkled. Is there any hope for me anytime? Sometime at one moment, I will confer this gift on you. When? There is no formula to this. It knows no mathematics. It is hard to deny what you say. Yet, I must admit that your arithmetic is as unusual as your dictionary. This remark gave you a hearty laugh. There was a pleasant smile on your face. You concluded, enough for today. I have to go about my business. See you later. I was tempted to respond, come soon to confer upon me the gift of not fearing my fears. But my heart immediately spoke with a soft, loving assurance. Your timing is perfect. You are never late.
Beautiful. So here once again, we are all accustomed to linking Baba's presence to a certain thing. Like just now somebody asked about Samadhi. So we are linking it with the Samadhi. We are linking it with the center, wherever center that you are. Or we are linking it with the photograph. Here Bal Natuji is linking it with his personal physical form because he saw Baba's form over there. So Baba is saying that, are you afraid now? And the author says, no, not now in your presence. And then Baba gives a superb clue. Then why do you link me with my form? I am also formless. So then Baba goes on to say that why don't you learn? Why can't you try and learn to connect my presence with my name? In other words, the name Baba, or somebody would like to say Meher Baba or Avatar Meher Baba or whatever. That name itself is so powerful that we can cultivate the art, the practice of associating his presence with the name. It does not mean that you don't go to the samadhi, you don't go to the center, you don't go to whatever, now people are wanting to rush to MPR. It doesn't mean any of these things. It simply means Baba is saying, why only link me to that? Because I am omnipresent. And in fact, at times Baba had said that my name is more powerful than me. And that is why Baba advocates, Baba encourages us to keep repeating his name mentally or even out loud continuously as often as we can in the midst of our daily activities. So that was one point which has come out very beautifully, that this is how it should be. And then Baba says, okay, again, Balnatuj, but it's difficult. And Baba says, but easy as well, and all that. And then he graces the author that someday, sometime at one moment, I will confer this gift on you. And the little that we know about is that Baba had said to Balnatuji that this is his last birth and that he would get mukti, he would get liberation. in this life. So we take his word for it. And then when? He's asking, when will you do that? There is no formula to this. It knows no mathematics. It is very important to understand that Baba's grace has no formula, no mathematics. It is his grace and it comes from a platform of truth, Advait, oneness, reality, and it can come on anybody at any time, whether that person is deserving or not deserving. That is his prerogative to bestow that grace on anyone at any time. It is hard to deny what you say. That's what very beautifully. Yet I must admit that your arithmetic is as unusual as your dictionary. So, which is a fact. And then, of course, the rest of the things are fine. That he finally ends the chapter by saying, your timing is perfect. You are never late. In other words, once we have resigned to Baba, once we have utterly surrendered to Baba, genuinely, then not one moment Baba would be late. He would always be there the moment we call him from the core of our being. Now, any questions here? Anything to share, talk, ask? These, these chapters are such that they are not instigating, I would say, any question, triggering any question. They are so superb, and they are, as I always keep repeating, that's my habit, that they are the emotions which all of us go through, and Baba is giving us solutions how we can handle those these emotions in this illusory world.
Some other day, you looked exceedingly beautiful that day, beauty personified. As I gazed in awe at your resplendent form, I began to anxiously wonder whether it would contain your radiance. I stared at you, my eyes transfixed.
Lutfia, your mic is on, please. Lutfia, thank you, dear.
I stared at you, my eyes transfixed by your form, captured by your countenance. I did not expect you to speak. The silence that reigned swallowed all words and absorbed all my thoughts. And yet, you broke the stillness and asked me, do you love me or my form? The question confused me. So I replied, that is one of the many, many answers that I don't have. You smiled, but then with a serious look, you continued. Then know this, love me, not my form. I am formless. Yes, I answered quietly, but does not your form symbolize the totality of formlessness? Yes, you agreed, but only if you are not overly attached to the form. I am even beyond formlessness. I exist in the beyond, and it is beyond me to explain this in words. Please don't, but tell me how one could be overly attached to your form, which is infinitely beautiful and glorious. It is through your form that I love you. The beyond state is your business. It is too much for me to understand. I am content with the gift you have given me, this love for you. Can't this love mirror the infinity of the beyond? You were quiet for a while. Then you spoke just 3 words, some other day. And giving me a most innocent look, you left. I still wonder how you, the beyond, knowing everything, are able to look so simple and innocent. And I wonder further, is this all a play of words in thought, or a play of thoughts through words? Or is it both as part of your play with me? Perhaps, if you wish, you will resolve this dilemma some other day.
Well, this chapter doesn't require much of explanation, except that Baba has always emphasized that I am not this form that you see. It is only a coat that I put on when I visit you. But somehow or the other, we are so overtly attached to the form. Obviously, the beautiful form that Baba is. And here, what Baba is emphasizing and saying, then know, then know this. Love me, not my form. I am formless. Because Baba, in its reality, is formless. And then Baba goes on to say, I exist in the beyond. Sorry, but I exist in the beyond. That means I am even beyond formlessness. How do we understand? And that is why Baba says that I exist in the beyond, and it is beyond me to explain this in words. So, in other words, there are certain areas which cannot be contained in words, which cannot be contained through our limited intellect. So we just let it be. The meaning of this chapter is that we need to love Him. This is how I would interpret. Love Him not just as that form, which is definitely beautiful, but love Him in each and every one, because He is in each and every one. He is in that form as Meher Baba. He is also formless, and He is also beyond the formless. The most practical thing that Baba has taught us is to love Him in each and every being, because He is in each one of us. And then, of course, there's nothing much, as I said. Yeah, there's a play of words over here which I would like to again read out. It says, I still wonder how you, the beyond, knowing everything, are able to look so simple and innocent. And that is what Baba actually portrayed himself, as if not knowing. Being all knowing, he acts and behaves as if he is all ignorant, and he's asking so many questions, individual questions. Did you have your food? How is your wife? How is your health? How is your business? How is it? How is that? As if he doesn't know anything. He's knowledge personified, and yet he behaves like this. And I wonder further, is this all a play of words in thought, or a play of thoughts through words? Or is it both? This is important. Or is it both as part of your play with me? Many times we talk about, preconceived destiny, a preordained thing, and we talk about the free will. But all this is, how do you explain that? Because the so-called free will is a part of the preordained will, is a part of the divine will. We've done this earlier, that there is a certain limitation for the existence of free will, but that free will not operate unless and until it is supported by the divine will, by God's will. And Baba also beautifully says that the divine will is always accommodative. It adjusts itself to the human will. How beautiful it is. So here we end this. Perhaps if you wish, you will resolve this dilemma some other day, because that's the subject of, that's the
Right.
title of the chapter, some other day. No questions, right? Right? Go ahead.
Dream into dream of the awakened one. Betrayed by my family and friends, disgusted with the ways of the world, I left my home. After a long, long journey, I came to a most desolate region of rocks and thorns. The sun rose high and fierce, but I continued on in spite of thirst and exhaustion. There was no sign of water or vegetation anywhere. A feeling of total helplessness came over me at last. In desperation, I cried out aloud, "Where are you?" And to my amazement, the words echoed back to me, "Where are you?" How could this happen? I could not explain this to myself, as there were no hills there to reverberate the sound. As far as my eyes could see, there was only that barren wasteland stretched out in every direction. However, as I squinted into the distance, a small black speck arrested my attention, and for some uncertain reason, I was drawn to it. With a feeling of urgency, I began moving towards it. As I came closer, I saw that it was an impoverished shack. Who could have built it there and why? Should I knock on the battered door? I could not decide. Finally, with some hesitation, I pushed the door open. To my great surprise, I saw you sitting at ease with a jug of cool water and a glass by your side. I did not expect you here, I exclaimed. You smiled. Neither did I. And you continued. Did you not call on me with a spirit of hopelessness and helplessness? Yes, I did, for I had literally lost all hope and felt helpless. How can I ignore a call that comes from the depth of one's heart? I had to rush here to this dilapidated shack to answer your call. Lovingly, you poured water into the glass and offered it to me. I held the glass in my hand and stared at you silently as a feeling of gratefulness swept over me. Come on, you urged. First, quench your thirst, then say whatever you have in your mind. Before I take the first sip, let me ask you one question. I know your quirk well. What is it? Was it you who echoed my question? Yes, that was the response of my presence in you.
Right. So here we are again coming across total desperation, total helplessness, total hopelessness, leaving the comfort of home and just walking out aimlessly and going into some desolate place. And then when you are so tired, so desperate, hungry, thirsty, you call out to Baba, where are you? And the response comes again, where are you? And the author is surprised as to how come there is an echo or a reverberation when there is nothing around, because you can only get an echo if there's something like a hillock, a mountain, or whatever building, so that it goes, the sound goes and bounces back on you. And then he sees a small speck very far away. And here the important word here Baba says is the author says is, I was drawn to it. Many times, we, in our sense of desperation, we are not we. We totally depend upon the heart. Our mind goes blank. We don't know what to do. And the heart is drawn to a certain place or to a certain person where we may get some kind of solace. So he goes there, and all that rest is, we know that he was sitting there and he says, I did not expect you here. And Baba says, neither did I. Neither did I expect you to be here. And then he offers him a cool glass of water. And here the question, another is, before I take the sip, I want to ask you a question. Was it you who answered my question? And the superb answer that comes from Baba is, yes, that was the response of my presence in you. Baba, I hope I'm making myself clear. The author is asking, who are you? And the Baba who is within the author is responding, where are you? I hope I'm clear. So here, in each one of us, Baba's presence is there. And once we are at a stage like how Palnatuji is absolute hopeless, absolute helpless, desolate, desperate, nowhere to go, nothing to do, just mind is absolutely blank. And the heart calls out, and at that time, the presence of the beloved within us also calls out and shows us the direction as to where we are expected to go.
Did you not feel a pull drawing you to this place? The echo meant, where are you? I am here. In a deep, sweet voice, you continued, when I am called, I become whatever I am taken to be. Yet, I ever remain beyond any becoming.
But this is also very important. Whenever I am called, or wherever I am called, I become whatever I am taken to be. If you take Baba to be God, he comes to you as God. There are many people to whom Baba would go as Krishna, as Rama, as Christ, as somebody else, So in other words, Baba is everyone and everything. And my understanding is that Baba is a reflection of what I am expecting to show up in my life. If I want to show up happiness, joy, peace, tranquility, equanimity, then Baba represents that. I remember once many years back, this must be, I think in Manzilemin period when Baba would, apparently get very angry and beat up the mandli and fling things at people, And once Sarosh asked, Baba, why do you behave like this? Very erratic behavior, getting angry for no reason and all that. And superbly, Baba said that what you are experiencing as my erratic behavior or anger or whatever, is nothing but a reflection of your own behavior. In other words, Baba said, I am like a wall. I am absolutely stoic. I am absolutely unmoved, unchanged, nothing. So if you throw a ball lightly, the ball will rebound lightly. If you throw with speed and with force, it will rebound with force. So whatever your experiences with me are is only a reflection of what is within you. So that is what Baba had explained to Sarosh Irani long years back. So here again, it's more or less the same thing. I become whatever I am taken to be. If there are many people who may consider Baba as a fraud, and definitely Baba would appear to them as fraud, as something, not real in the sense, not a real master that way, because Baba is everything. You see, I remember again an instance where somebody, out of whatever spite or out of trying to trigger me, said that your Baba is so and so, and expected me to really shout and say something, some bad words and all that. I just smiled and I said, yeah, I agree with you. And he was like nonplussed. How can you agree when you are a follower of Meher Baba? I said, what you're saying is quite true. Because Baba is everyone and everything that you take him to be. So when you think that Baba is like this, then obviously he is this because he's God. He cannot not be that when you are sincerely taking Baba to be that. You see what I'm trying to say? So here, whatever I'm taken to be, yet I ever remain beyond any becoming. He becomes and he's beyond all kinds of becoming.
As I raised the glass of water to my parched lips, 2 large teardrops fell into it. Having drunk, I put the glass on the mat and spoke in a choked voice. Yes, it was your compassionate presence that drew me here. Then I added, these few sips have refreshed and fortified me. Yet I must admit, I wish to leave the world for good, for I am really tired of it. But not tired of yourself, he chuckled and added. You may run from the world, but it will follow you stealthily wherever you go. Then what should I do? I asked. Without a moment's break, you responded. Hopelessness out of frustration is a temporary reaction to the difficulties you fear to face. Helplessness that results from physical weakness or mental crisis constitutes a forced truce. Such state of mind do not last long.
I need to break because it is so powerful and so beautiful, See, Balnatuji is saying that I am tired of the world. And Baba says, aren't you tired of yourself? You're tired of the world, but not of yourself. And then he's asking, I want to run away from the world. And we all know that running away from the world, going into the jungles, mountains, caves are not going to help because we are carrying the same load of samskaras. You see, the impressions. So without a moment's break, Baba says, hopelessness. Why I'm saying this, I always keep interjecting. There are many people who want to leave everything and go to Mehrabad. and stay there and serve God, serve Baba and all that. And people do ask me. And the first question you should ask yourself, I want to run away from the world. Why? Because I am tired, I am frustrated, I feel out of place about it, then it's not going to help. Only when you are fulfilled and accomplished in the world, and you are going there to give that sense of joy and accomplishment and fulfillment to somebody else, to Baba's community, then perhaps it would work. This is my take. So here Baba says, hopelessness out of frustration is a temporary reaction to the difficulties you fear to face. Helplessness that results from physical weakness or mental crisis constitute a forced truce. Truce means peace. Such state of mind do not last long. So it is hopeless to run away from the world because of this reason. I shook my head wonderingly and asked, then what is the remedy? Are you displeased with me? Go ahead.
No, not really, but I'm not pleased either. Now I'm even more confused. What path of life should I choose? Do you want me to go back to the city and take a job? Listen to my words, but follow only what you honestly grasp in your heart.
So even Baba is saying this. Baba used to talk about this into the Mandli, that take the advice of the Mandli, but finally do what you feel right in your own heart. Here Baba is talking the same about himself. Then listen carefully. Can you just repeat this?
Listen to my words, but follow only what you honestly grasp in your heart. Otherwise, your mind will continue to crave subliminally for the things you have discarded out of dissatisfaction or condemnation. You may leave the city, but the houses and streets will crowd your mind. This is a greater burden for you to carry, for it smothers the very spark of life.
Subliminally means it is below the threshold of conscious perception. Means it is not a conscious perception. Here Baba says, listen to my words, but follow only what you grasp, honestly grasp in your heart. Otherwise, your mind will continue to crave subliminally for the things you have discarded out of dissatisfaction or condemnation. We discard clothes, we discard style, we discard house, we discard things of the world, but they will follow you wherever you go because you are not complete with them. You have thrown it out because of what condemnation, frustration, dissatisfaction. So here you may leave the city, but the houses and streets will crowd your mind. This is a greater burden for you to carry, for it smothers the very spark of life. Smothering means it tries to extinguish the very enthusiasm, the spark of life.
I broke in impatiently. But there are people who lead a secluded life. I would like to live that way. Imitating others should be avoided.
Many people imitate others. Somebody does meditation, so I also want to do because somebody is feeling nice about meditation. Nothing wrong about meditation. I'm just saying we try to imitate somebody else is doing because not knowing that each one of us are differently molded in our samskaric pattern. So some people may like this, some people may like that. So let us be individual rather than imitating others.
You continue to explain. For a few, leaving the world or the worldly way is as natural a thing as a ripe fruit falling to the ground. Your experiences are parts of a blown up balloon and are comprised of your thoughts. They are a web woven by your feelings. The source of your life is the spark of spirit in you journeying to merge in me the real life. Can you tell me something about this real life? It is beyond verbal expression. Then why do you speak of it to me? Nothing I say is without purpose, but forms a part of a significant design which gradually unfolds to your awareness and reveals the falsity of your thoughts and of the world you live in.
Just a minute. Again, a very beautiful. Many times, Baba may say certain things which we just cannot make head or tail of it. We don't understand why Baba is talking the way he's talking or something. For example, here, Baba talks about the spark which is within each one of us and that will lead us to the real life. And the author is asking, can you tell me something more about real life? And he says, no, that is beyond expression. You cannot understand. Then why are you talking to me about real life? And then Baba says, nothing I say is without purpose, but forms a part of a significant design. It is like a jigsaw. Something here, something here, something here. It forms a part of a significant design which gradually unfolds to your awareness and reveals the falsity of your thoughts and of the world you live in. In other words, many times, many things that we talk about, that we learn, so-called learn here, doesn't seem to make sense at this point in time. But maybe that is just a part of the entire design. And one fine day it will just make sense because all the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle will set in. My
words awaken you more and more to my presence concealed within you.
His presence, Baba's presence, is concealed within us. And when Baba speaks something like how he's speaking here, or when we have read the discourses and so many other Baba's words, Baba said that my words will awaken that which is hidden within you. So Baba's words are, can you just, my words
awaken you more and more to my
presence
concealed within you. Then do you mean to say that all that I am going through now is a play of falseness, just a dream of my mind? Definitely, whether you call it joyful or sorrowful. Would you like to be convinced of this? I would be extremely indebted to you if you gave me even a glimpse of it, I humbly replied.
So Baba, over and over, Baba had said that whatever we are experiencing is just a dream. The divine dreamer is dreaming something and we are experiencing that. And in our dream, we dream another dream. And many people give a lot of importance to that dream. And when such dreams are narrated to Baba, what does it mean? What is the implication of that? Does it lead you somewhere? Baba would just laugh it off and say, as it is, this is a whole big, a huge dream. And what is the value of a dream within a dream?
Then let us leave the shack, you said, and got to your feet. Beckoning me outside, you gestured towards the sky. What a wonder! Instead of the midday sun, I saw a lovely full moon. Suddenly, there was a clap of thunder, and I awoke to find myself in my bed.
So all this was happening to our very dear Bal Natuji in a dream. And Baba says, now come, I'm going to tell you something, come out of the shack, that dilapidated shack, And they come out and there was a loud thunder and he gets up from the sleep.
A full moon peeped at me through my window. It seemed to be smiling mischievously. Coincidentally, in the distance, thunder rolled. What a fantasy! Am I awake or dreaming? Is this a dream or was that a dream? Yeah. I lay in my bed for some time in a pleasant state of wakefulness.
We do that sometimes when we just had a pleasant dream. Most of the time when it is pleasant, not when it's a nightmare. We like to linger in that state of wakefulness. We don't want to get up. Not only that, but sometimes we want to enter into the dream again and rewind what we just saw, a beautiful dream. Yeah.
It was as though the immensity of the cloudless, soundless, blue sky prevailed in me. But then again, the thoughts began to rush through my mind. It was as though I was speaking with you. Would that I could be stationed at that tangent point which intersects these two dream dimensions of my life. But who knows? That might confuse me all the more. Of course, I know that you help me as much through confusion as through clarity. The only solution, if any, is your grace. The grace of the awakened one being fully awake in me. However much I try, I cannot reconcile these two dimensions, these mutually integrated dreams. Is my life in its entirety a part of my dreaming about the awakened one, or the creative dreaming of the awakened one in me as me? Incomprehensible.
I would like to read that again because as it is, we don't have much time, so I'm not going to start a new chapter. Yeah, it's a big one. Anyway, very beautiful. He wakes up from his dream and then he's just lazing away for a while. It was as though the immensity of the cloudless, soundless blue sky prevailed in me. He had just come off a very, very beautiful lesson, a very, very beautiful dream, where Baba talks about so many aspects we just did. But then again, the thoughts began to rush through my mind, which keeps on, our mind is never at peace. It keeps on thinking. It was as though I was speaking with you, although he has spoken to Baba in his dream and he is now awakened. The thoughts came back to him as if he is continuing to speak to Baba. Would that I could be stationed at that tangent point. Tangent is like a curve and a straight line cutting across a point, a point that touches the curve, the curve, straight line. That means you are neither in this dream or that dream. You don't know where you are actually. Would that I could be stationed at that tangent point, which intersects between these two dream dimensions of my life. Because this itself is, as we have learned, the false awake dream state. The false awake state, you can say, but it's a dream. And in the other dream, when we go to sleep, we again dream that dream. But who knows? That might confuse me all the more. Of course, I know that you help me as much through confusion as through clarity. So many a times, there's another chapter, I don't know if it's in the same book or book later, where the author is constantly confused about something or the other. He is replicating, I would say, our own emotions. We have fear, we have weaknesses, we have confusion. And out of desperation, he talks about confusion. And I'm saying words to the effect, I'm just paraphrasing, where Baba is saying, what is wrong about confusion? It's only when the confusion is confused about itself, then clarity will dawn. These may not be the exact words, but we'll come to it when we come to the chapter. That means you should be so utterly confused with confusion itself that finally there is no other go but to call out to him hopelessly, helplessly, and then he comes and brings about the clarity to whatever we are going through. So here he says that, of course, I know that you help me as much through confusion as through clarity. The only solution, if any, this is extremely important, the only solution, if any, is your grace. The grace of the awakened one being fully awake in me. So basically, awakened one, the awakener, is Baba. On his tomb shrine, it's edged, the marble, I have come not to teach but to awaken. He is the awakener. He has come to awaken himself in each one of us. And once he is awakened within us, automatically we are also awakened for all time. There's a nice Baba's quote which goes on, words to the effect again, that I am sleeping in everyone's heart. It is my old habit. For you to awaken me, you need to call out my name. Baba, 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 Baba. Then I, who am away, who am sleeping in you, will find no pleasure in sleeping. Leave aside sleeping. I will have no time to doze. And then Baba goes on to say, and when you keep on repeating his name, I will awaken in you, and you too will awaken for all time. Again, I repeat, these are words to the effect. The meaning behind it is that one of the ways of awakening Baba within us is to constantly, continuously, wholeheartedly calling out his name. Repeating his name is one of the most, what should I say, uh, guaranteed, you can say, guaranteed way of awakening, because that is one of the pathways which Baba has said. And not only Baba, even before him, Kabira and Guru Nanak Dev Ji, they would always say, they will give a lot of importance to Naam, that is the name. So once we practice that, that is one way we could do that. So here Baba says, okay, that's over. Away your grace, the grace of the awakened one being fully awake in me. However much I try, I cannot reconcile these two dimensions, that dimensions of dreaming, these mutually integrated dreams. Is my life in its entirety, our life in entirety, a part of my dreaming about the awakened one? What we are right now, what are we doing? We are talking about the awakened one. We are trying to learn this, whatever it is you call it, reading Baba's words. So is that, the author is saying, does it mean that, is that my dreaming about the awakened one, about Baba? Or the creative dreaming of the awakened one? That means whatever is happening is the creative dreaming of the awakened one, which is Baba, in me, as me. Incomprehensible, cannot be comprehended. It is, you cannot really get, you cannot understand, you cannot get an answer to this. Am I dreaming about the awakened one, or is he dreaming in me? Or the creative dreaming of the awakened one in me, as me, as a little me. Incomprehensible. So here we end this chapter. Anybody has anything to ask, share? We still have about 2-3 minutes, but I wouldn't start a new chapter now. If anybody wants to share, anything or ask anything, or how do you find these sessions going on, or you would still prefer to go back to reading of Baba's words? Anybody wants to say something?
The sessions are good.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Ram
Acha,
Nori.
1 minute. Yeah, Ram Nori, go ahead.
No, these sessions are good, and I'm hoping one of these days you'll come back to your Wednesday session, and you'll leave
Which
your
session?
Wednesday.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
and go back to Saturday session being Q&A.
But
Because
Q&A doesn't have much. You are not giving me sufficient questions. And you are only focusing on God speaks, which I don't know. Anyway. Okay, Mansi has a question.
It's not just me. A lot of people have a lot of questions. Doesn't have to be just about
Okay,
God
we'll do that. Baba willing, we'll do that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes, Mansi.
Jai Baba, Jai Baba. So
Yes,
nice
Jai
to
Baba.
see you all. So I
Yes.
have been able to join a few of these last sessions, and I've been really enjoying it. In the middle, I wasn't joining at all. But because Monday, Wednesday, just coincidentally, I had my classes, other dance classes, which I was already committed to. But because Saturdays, I've been really enjoying these sessions. Since you asked for feedback, I'm just saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
Thank you
dance
so
or you
much.
make others dance?
No, I dance with my teacher and the other students. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Thanks for the
Jai
feedback.
Baba.
Because
Jai Baba.
Because we are enjoying this, because for one reason is that so beautifully written, the languaging, it's like It's very flowery and very beautifully written.
Simple. It's so
And-
simple.
And easy to grasp is what I am finding.
Ah, it's so simple.
And
what we
most of the
we
times
go
I
through- Yeah, go
sorry,
ahead.
sorry.
You go
I-
ahead.
Yeah, so I'm able to retain also a lot of it. Otherwise, it just goes upar se for me.
Thank you.
When it goes like this, you try sitting on a high stool. Maybe you can catch all this. Anyway, chalo. So I think we call it a day. Thank you, beloved
Thank you
Baba.
so
Thanks
much,
so
Baba.
much. And I hope and pray that Baba really guides us
Thank you, Chittaranjan.
all the more, to love him more and more. And one fine day.
Jai Meer Baba, Jai Meer Baba.
Jai Baba. Jai Baba.
जय बाबा
Avatar,
Har Meher Baba ki jai.
जय
Jai Baba. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Thank you.
Jai
Thank you,
Baba.
Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai.
बाबा
Thank you.